please rise, and gentlemen, please remove your caps and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Should I wait? Okay. Welcome, MSD of Steuben County School Board members and administrators, AHS faculty and staff, parents, relatives, friends, and fellow graduates of the class of 2009. For some of you, these past 2,418 days that we have been in school have dragged on. For others, the 58,032 hours have flown by. For everyone now, our 3,481,920 minutes of our time in school together have come to an end. We have all had our ups and downs through this chapter in life, but one thing we have in common is the way we got here today. None of us arrived here without the help of others. We often overlook the little gestures people have done for us over the years. Most teachers helped out in any way they could, whether it be staying after class to help with a homework problem, or taking a little extra time to explain the current assignment. Your parents were your personal chauffeur. They took you to and from school, as well as dances, sporting events, and friends' houses. Friends have been there for you through thick and thin. They were the person you went to when Bobby broke up with you or when Susie pushed you down. They are the people you simply tell everything to and know they will never tell a soul. Someone has been there to give us all encouraging words, helpful advice, and constructive criticism. Their support has helped each and every one of us sitting here today. So take the time to think of all of those who have been there for you these past 13 years and thank them the next time you see them. I would like to personally congratulate my fellow classmates. After 13 long years, we have arrived. Most of us have been together through elementary, middle, and high school. Take yourself back to the many field trips we had in elementary school. Baker's Acres, Shipshewana, the zoo, and Sodders, to name a few. Middle school was spent making new friends and hanging out in the field during Friday night football games. High school was full of dances, games, parties, and unforgettable memories. We all have dreams and goals we hope to obtain. Some of us will go to college and receive a degree. Others will join the military, and still others might go straight into the workforce. After today, we will be able to go forth and create the future we have always wanted. James Dean once said, "Dream as if you'll live forever, live as if you'll die today." To my fellow classmates, congratulations and good luck.
Isn't it a great day this Sunday afternoon as we come together for the commencement to honor the class of 2009. I am very privileged to be here today. I first of all want to begin by offering some thanks to a number of people, our senior choir members who presented their selection today, and Mrs. Sarah Farber-Staub. I want to make sure that I recognize throughout this school district, and I'm not going to do the numbers like Taylor did. Taylor, thanks for doing the numbers for me. But our teachers, all of our staff members, and our students for their daily efforts in the classroom throughout each and every school year. And I would like for all of you to join me in recognizing that with a big round of applause. And of course, as Taylor mentioned, this has been a K through 13 or K through 12 experience for them. 13 years. And so we recognize all the teachers and all the staff members along the way who have contributed and worked with all of these fine students to help them get to this point. I also want to thank people who make this ceremony possible, and that would be all the members of our guidance department, all the secretarial staff in the high school office, Howard McKeever and his custodial staff. They just asked me to get up here and be the point man, but I want to assure you that they do all the hard work in getting ready for this ceremony, and I very much appreciate that. Would you join me in a round of applause for all of those people? I'd also like to show our appreciation for the seniors who provided prelude music today. I think that was Mark Tubergen and Thomas Wilson. At this time, I want to make note of retirements in the MSD Steuben County School District. And we have 2 retirements here at Angola High School, which we'll recognize lastly. But several retirements from the elementary level: Barb Houlihan, Judy Senny, Janice Clark, principal at Carlin Park Elementary School, John Maurer, principal at the Angola Middle School, Mr. Bill Church. We very much appreciate all their efforts, and they have been long-serving in our school district, and it is very much appreciated. As we honor them, I would like to have 2 staff members from Angola High School come forward, Mrs. Marcia Powers and Mrs. Judy Jones. Would you please come up to the stage? Mrs. Jones should have had an honored seat, shouldn't she? Mrs. Jones and her family are longtime baseball fans, so I think she had the Bob Uecker seat up in the far corner. Mrs. Powers, on behalf of the MSD School District, I present you with this honor of a recognition of all your years of service to the district. Each of the retiring employees in this district receives one of these, but since we have this commencement ceremony here at the high school, we're recognizing you in public. Mrs. Jones, thank you very much for all of your service. School will not be the same without these 2 fine ladies, and we will all be sure to recognize that as a new school year begins. And we've only asked them not to drive by honking their horns on the first day of school. But would you join me in a round of applause for all of our retirees? Thank you very much. And now some recognitions for the class of 2009. That's really why we came here, right, class? Perfect attendance. We have 2 students who've had perfect attendance. Heather Greco, would you please stand? 3 years of perfect attendance. And Kara Van Auken, 7 years of perfect attendance. Would you please stand? Recognize them, please. Thank you. In this day and age of military service overseas and our focus after 9/11 on the importance of service here at home, it has been our procedure to recognize members of the graduating class who have enlisted in military service. And so I would like each of them to stand and remain standing until all have been recognized, and then we'll recognize you all together. Ty Barron, Nick Bell, Travis Klaus, David Conley, David Dobson, Cody Dowell, Dakota Dorman, Brandon Doty, Zach Nagel, and Nick Wolf. Would you join me in recognition? And I make note as we do that, we of course recognize the many years of service of the many veterans that are with us today and some of our graduates who currently are serving. And they are in our thoughts, in our hopes and prayers. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to recognize the top 10% in the class of 2009. I would ask each of them to stand and remain standing, and then we will recognize you at the conclusion. Nick Beard, Tessa DeLucini, Cody Dowell, Heather Greco, Nick Hochstedler, Ben Hoffman, Lexi Horwitz, David Johnson, Teresa McHugh, valedictorian, Zachary Olson, Ted Paycalt, Justin Police, Haley Rao, Hillary Schlim, Justin Talkington, the salutatorian, Mark Tubergen, Michael Weber, Thomas Wilson, Eric Wyatt. Would you join me in recognition of their accomplishments? Thank you very much. You may be seated.
I really like this thing, it's pretty cool. So I have a couple remarks to make. I'll try to keep this short. As if you haven't heard this phrase enough today, welcome to your commencement ceremony. Commencement speeches were invented largely in the belief that graduates should never be released into the world until they have been properly sedated. Some of your minds may be wandering right now, wondering how long until you can consider yourself a complete graduate of Angola High School, as I'm sure some of you are aching to get out of here. Aristotle said, the roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. I think some of you are anxious to sample the fruits as you coordinate your schedule around the dozen or so parties you have in the coming days, so you don't have to pay for your meals for the next week. But since that will only come with time, it is now my time to address you, the senior class. While I was thinking about graduation, my dad mentioned to me that this is the last time we will ever be together like this. Sure, what is left of our class after years of schooling is seated in this gym. A few years down the road, we'll start having our reunions. But the fact remains that we will never gather together as wholly as we are today. If there's anything you have ever wanted to say to someone that is here today that is not part of your normal clique, this is your day to say it, but save it for later. My job today is to give you some worldly advice. So I decided to go get a box of fortune cookies and write down some that I believe apply to this commencement ceremony. Unfortunately, after several cookies with no luck, I settled down and used a far more convenient tool for quotes, the internet. Some of you country music fans may recognize this being said by Dolly Parton. If you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. I'm sure many of you have felt that you have weathered the seas of high school drama and are ready to move on to the real world. I've always thought that life isn't too bad if you're looking at it the right way. It's a question of mind over matter. If I don't mind, it doesn't matter. But going out into the real world can be a very humbling experience, especially if you are a humbler than thou type. Funny thing about humility, once you think you've got it, you've lost it. No one gets through life without working. You have to work in the real world because none of the secrets of success will work unless you do. Hopefully, we all have long and grand lives ahead of us. We are young, we have an education, and with youth and education, there's a world of promise ahead. Before you get too full of grandiose thoughts, I would advise you to keep everything in perspective. The world may be your oyster, but that doesn't always mean you'll get its pearl. You may never find the pearl you think you want if you never open your mind to what you want to do. So while you're thinking about being open-minded, ponder this. Graduation is only a concept. In real life, you graduate. Graduation is a process that goes on until the last day of your life. If you can grasp that, you'll make a difference. As students, we are often told how we have the power to change the world, or how maybe someday one of us will become famous and make a huge discovery that will change the future. Not to kill the excitement or anything, but when you really think of the chances of being that person, it's easy to sit and think that you're not the one to do it. But sometimes, the people who change the world are the ones that were quiet and rose to greatness through their humility, and for the power they had within themselves to be great. Many new technologies have been developed, and unlike previous pioneers in the fields of technology, very few names come to mind when you think of the inventors of modern technology. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." Sometimes the most heroic of figures comes from the most unlikely crews. No matter what caste you may come from, it is important to realize that every day is a learning experience, and you evolve, you develop, you regress sometimes, and you continue to grow little by little each day. A man who graduates today and stops learning tomorrow is uneducated the day after. Emerson also said, "Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Now, before you go crazy about madly hacking your way through a metaphorical jungle armed with a machete of high school knowledge, let this poem serve as a caution to you. The future lies before you like a field of driven snow. Be careful how you tread it, for every step will show. The irony about statements like these being used at graduation is evident in this statement of Robert Orban. A graduation ceremony is an event where the commencement speaker tells thousands of students in identical caps and gowns that individuality is the key to success. But how is individuality the key to success? To be successful in the world, you need to stick out. Some people stick out physically, some mentally, and some stick out socially, for better or worse in some cases. I can't begin to count how many Be True to Yourself movies there are out there, but I must impress upon you to be a first-rate version of yourself and not a second-rate version of someone else. There is just one life for each of us, our own. Harold Janine said, "In the business world, everyone is paid in two coins, cash and experience. Take the experience first, the cash will come later." Unfortunately, the trouble with learning from experience is that you never graduate. Something I learned from 5 years of marching band is that if you've got one chance to do something that really matters to you, you need to put your heart into it, especially in the business world, as much as it may pain people to be enthusiastic about work. As excellence is not a skill, it is an attitude. To quote Vince Lombardi, "If you aren't fired with enthusiasm, you will be fired with enthusiasm." Things won't always turn out for the best. In fact, it seems like they rarely do some days. But things turn out for the best for the people who make the best out of the way things turn out. Here's another thought. Just because you conclude something doesn't mean it is the end. A conclusion is simply the place where you got tired of thinking. Those of you who know me well know that I could talk all day about the most random topics. Those of you who don't know me think I'm quiet, and those of you who do wish I were. You are all probably eager to continue with this. It can be droll, but it's somehow exciting and a ritualistic ceremony. So I will leave you with a few more thoughts. Watch what you say, because a closed mouth gathers no feet. The deeds that make you feel best about yourself are sometimes the ones you do for someone else without anyone knowing you did it. If at first you don't succeed, do it the way your mother told you to. And finally, I must digress to complete sincerity and honesty for a moment. Thank your parents, your teachers, and anyone else that has molded you into who you are today, because eventually down the road, they won't be there to thank. So thanks, Mr. Olson, for that thought. And thanks to all the teachers here for helping to shape us. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for always trying to be good parents, even when I didn't want your opinions. To you, my classmates, I mean it. Thank your parents or guardians, or whoever you feel you need to. I offer you all the most sincere of congratulations, as out of the nearly 300 students that we started with in high school, only you remain. I wish you the best of luck on whichever path you choose to take. No matter how the winds of fate may approach you, remember that we can't control the wind, but we can adjust the sails.
a little bit shorter than he is. I'd like to get this started by wishing Ashley Schaefer and Matt Davison a happy birthday. Great day to happy birthday. The days leading up to today have been, thus far, the most important days of our lives. Classes, homework, friendships, relationships, college. These things have bombarded us for the past 4 years, and it has finally paid off. All the studying for SATs, all the college applications, and scholarship interviews are in the past. What lies ahead is what we make of it in this next 4 years of our lives. Within our class, I see teachers, doctors, construction workers, surgeons, artists, lawyers, businessmen, and nuclear engineers, as well as musicians, journalists, soldiers, politicians, physical therapists, farmers, and ecologists. I am only one of many in our diverse graduating class, and I do not always have the right words to say. I may be the valedictorian, but as the valedictorian, I think I should represent our class. Just because everyone is not at the top of the class does not mean they do not have something to say. I want to be the voice of our class. Here are some of the things our classmates want to say. Our class has never quit, and that will benefit us in each and every occupation we choose. Haley. Never give up and never let go of your dreams. Michael. Our class is very complex. Even after a few years of drifting apart, the friendship is still there and can always be rekindled. Taylor. I wish for our class to have never-ending tolerance in the future, love, and selfless unity as a generation. Justin. Never let uncertainties ruin your dreams. Spencer. Make as many friends as you can and always give thanks to God. Tom. Life is all about making memories. You cannot discover new oceans unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Ashley. We have all had a great year, a great past, and we can now look forward to the life that we have in front of us. Chris. And in the words of John Richardson Jr., when it comes to the future, there are 3 kinds of people: those who let it happen, those who make it happen, and those who wonder what happened. Our class is about to make the future happen. We have set goals, strive to achieve them, and will continue to aim high. So much can be said about our class and the achievements we have made. Within Angola, we have had our own Lily recipient, volunteers who have started their own programs, and singers that have blown away audiences. We have so much unique talent in our class, the type of talent that defines us. Let us use our talents for the future. Let us make the world the way we want it to be. Let us live in the present to create the future. Life is brief. We only have a short amount of time to make a difference in the world. And these past 13 years have served as a foundation of what we will contribute to this world as we go our separate ways. The paths each of us has taken to become who we are now as we prepare to graduate are all unique. None of us have the same past, the same experiences, the same future. And yet, just 2 weeks ago, our class gathered together to enjoy a cookout, camping, and a little tandem bike riding the day before Mr. Girl's 68th birthday. And now, we are all here, united, today on our graduation day as the class of 2009. I cannot predict the future. I cannot guarantee that we will all be successful or that we will always keep in touch. But I can say that we will all make our own decisions and they will create the future after us. I want to take this time to recognize the teachers and faculty that have become such a large part of our lives. To all the members of the English department, you have helped to teach us how to express our own opinions and have opened our hearts to the voice that lies within us. To the extremely thin government teacher, You know who you are. We'll never look at peanut M&Ms the same way again. To Mrs. Jones and Mrs. Powers, who are retiring this year, we will miss you dearly, and Angola High School will not be the same without you. To the counselors, without you, we would have no guidance. We would also have no schedules and no free candy. To the math teachers, although not all of us will remember exactly what derivatives are or what the slope of the tangent line is, we'll all remember the story of the Indian Sokotoa. To the science teachers, I cannot think of any other place I would rather dissect sheep eyeballs or create towers out of paper than in your science labs. To the foreign language teachers and social studies teachers, even though Le Papa Pingouin or our FICO scores may not seem relevant now, these bits of information will be useful to us for the rest of our lives. To the elective teachers, without you, our creativity would be stifled, and the joy of pure, uncalculated ingenuity would be gone. Finally, to the head of the faculty, the parents, and all others who have influenced us throughout our lives so far, thank you for the rules, the advice, the encouragement, and the car. Thank you once again for everything you do. Let us give a round of applause for the people who have influenced us most.
members of the senior class have returned to their seat from their band number performance, I would just like to recognize publicly there are many days and hours and weeks and months of hard effort in representing Angola High School in such an excellent way. In our marching band, concert band, jazz band, culminated this year by their trip to the state competition in Lucas Oil Arena. We very, very much appreciate that 4 and even 5 years for many of you participation and representing Angola High School so well. Would you join me again in another round of applause for the Angola High School Band Players? Well, we all came here together today for one most important task, and that is to recognize and honor the members of the class of 2009. And so to Dr. David Goodwin, our school superintendent, the members of the Steuben County Board of School Trustees, President Glenn Lee Army, I present to you today the class of 2009 for the awarding of diplomas. With the first row, please rise. Let me ask the members of the audience to please join us in saving our applause for the conclusion of the roll call so that every name can be heard, and then we can all celebrate together this great accomplishment of the class members of 2009. Thank you very much for that. Christopher M. Kent. Brady Lee Wilson. Emily Caroline Chappelle. Teresa Anna McHugh. Jeremy Allen James. Douglas Craig Ralston. Benjamin Charles Hoffman. Mark James Tubergen. David Paul Johnson. Lexi Ray Horwitz. Aaron Renee Beard. Kaylee Marie Mounts. Hillary Elizabeth Schlim. Rachel Ann Stuckey. Justin David Talkington. Taylor James Zank. Zachary Mitchell Olson. Taylor Danielle Warren. Heather Rose Greco. Michael Todd Hamilton. Justin Michael Police. Nicholas Kevin Beard. Salvador Hernandez Chavez. Jeremy W. Grace. Eric Donald Wyatt. Haley Marion Rao. Cassandra Marie Moran. Tessa Gabrielle DeLucney. Amanda Rose Shout. I am sorry. Colby Robert Petrie. Nicholas Joseph Hochstedler. Thomas Edwin Wilson. Cody D. Dowell. Seth Clements. Karina Marie York. Lacey Chantel Westfall. Travis Allen Klaus. Corey Michael Glasper. Alexis Ray Shepard. Emma Danielle Weaver. Kirsten Ann Barnthouse. Megan Marie Sprock. Stephanie Louise Osborne. Jaron Faith Rice. Joshua John Boyanowski. Travis Lee Brower. Caitlin Alexandria Fichter. Corinne C. Kazmarek. Lauren Marie Miles. Amanda Sue Allen. Brendan Carter Smoker. Kyle James Golnick. Kevin James Hireman. Kyle David Swartz. Alexandria Marie Reese. Allison E. Rangel. Hillary Ann Spencer. Aaron Michael Bowers. Stephanie Grace Hancock. Kara Ann Van Auken. Ashley Nicole Schaefer. Melissa Ann Parker. David Frederick Dobson. Garrett Mitchell Kaiser. Margie Louise Murphy. Chelsea Elizabeth Williams. Ricky P. Farrar. Brandon Alexander Carroll. Kyle Moonen. Taylor Daniel Mowry. Danielle Marie Reinage. Kelby Diane Thiebaud. Courtney Dawn Saylor. Brittany Lee Miller. Emily Ann Snedeker. Christopher Cody Penix. Angela Lee Flowers. Shannon Christine Armstrong. Ariel Amber Lynn Van Holt. David Michael Conkus. Sawyer A.M. Reynolds. Ty Allen Barron. Crystal Marie Holton. Heather Danielle Holton. Kirsten Diane Cox. David Andrew Conley. Sindel May Hobson. Danielle Penick, Felicia Louise Anafrietti, Lindsay Marie Ryan, Scott Allen Ameling, Tony Allen Doherty, Dustin Todd Hance, Brandon Allen Springer, Benjamin Peter Goodrow, Ryan Christopher Fretz, Brittany Michelle McLean, Kaylin Marie Snyder, Kayla Mariah Kellermeyer, Alexandria Elizabeth Landell, Christina P. Bertiz, Carrie Diane Ort, Janelle Dexter Rath, Carrington Renee Kohlmeyer, Barrett Christopher Guthrie, Joseph Michael Stokowski, Megan Haley Myers, Brittany Dawn Bowers, Camille Lorraine Aldrich, Lexan Shelby Cranfield, Spencer Stephen Meyer, Michael Allen Lewis, Anna Hemmighoffen, Constanza Bernusis, Mary Elizabeth Bramus, Jacob Aaron Chesley, Andrew D. Van Gordon, Kyle L. Robotham, Matthew Ira Lewis, Nicholas S. Bell, Ethan Paul Scully, Christopher Taro Osterberg, Cynthia Lynn O'Neill, Casey Leanne Jones, Spencer Christian James Ferrier, Lynn K. Andres, Naguib A. Almabouche, Jonathan Kyle George, Trevor Allen Smith, John Marvin Mott, Jessica Lynn Van Tilburg, Jenny Lynn Brandt, Sean Michael Summerlot, Randy Lee Batchelder, John J. Shoemaker, Jack Tanner Bryan, Beth Marie Fredrickson, Douglas Allen Martin, Christopher A. Crowell, Shane Adam Summerlot, Akari Sato, Vananard Chekit Patana, Kayleen Elaine Aldrich. Corey John Best. Nicholas David Wolf. Brandon Neal Doty. Andrea Lynn Brow. Elizabeth Ellen Brewington. Landon Levon Walker. Matthew Todd Davison. Cody Allen Hubble. Jake Edward Conrad. Brandon Martin Ellis. Dion Barron. Kendra Ann Messer. Corey W. Jolin. Tyler Jordan Chappelle. Willem J. Schumer II. Octavio Ramirez. Andres Luna. Autumn Renee Scott. Amanda Marie Nichols. Mason D. Miller. Adam Hugh Selman. Alicia J. Hoffman. Lindsay Elizabeth Smart. Haley M. Campman. Nicole Marie Devlin. Brady Tyler Church. Samuel Elliott Shout. Jordan David Robbins. Sierra Nicole Deming. Amanda Darlene Droste. Griselda Games. Melissa Sue Fleming. Amanda Marie Schaefer. David Lucas Martin. Isabella Rosa Fisher. Rebecca Kristen Euclid. Lisa Marie Underdorben. Corey Lee Klug. Kayla Danielle Ickes. Ashley Nicole Hall. Trevor K. Senecal. Michelle Aaron Coons. Michelle Nicole Esquivel. Bradley L. Jolin. Corey Lee Bussing. Gage C. L. Boschers. Tiark Freebie. Taylor Jade Scott. Tracy William Thomas. Michael Lincoln Weber. Members of today's fine audience, would you all stand and join me in applauding the accomplishments of the members of the class of 2009? And now, members of the class of 2009, would you join me in recognizing with your applause all these people in this audience today who have supported you throughout your educational career? Okay, if you please be seated for just a moment. Let me say this. Taylor alluded to a quote that Steve Jobs is famous for mentioning, which goes something like this. And I leave you with the final charge, class of 2009. I think we all know who Steve Jobs is, co-founder of Apple. Lost his job there through reorganization. Ended up going back there after developing Pixar animated films. Extremely successful. But he said when he was 17, he read a quote that went something like this: "If you live each day as if it were your last, someday you'll most certainly be right." But he went on to say it made an impression on him. And since then, for the last 33 years, Mr. Jobs looks in the mirror every morning and asks himself this question: if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And I say to this class of 2009, you have great talent. Develop it. Develop big dreams. Follow those dreams. But ask yourself that hard question every day. I plan to do that from now on. Ask yourself that hard question. If this was the last day, would I be doing this? Or should I be making some adjustment in my focus? Class of 2009, congratulations. Best wishes for the future. Thank you very much.
First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate the senior class of 2009. We have finally made it after countless worksheets, essays, and late nights cramming for that final semester exam. Through the years, we've gotten to know one another and ultimately gotten to know ourselves and who we are. Long-lasting friendships have been born, first loves were found, and the in and outs of being a teenager have consumed our daily lives for the last 7 years or so. From being introduced as a class in the 6th grade until now, we have all grown, both mentally and physically, into the young men and women that we so proudly have become today. As I sat and thought about how I'd represent myself to all you sitting here today, I can only picture the last 13 years of my life in one gigantic blur. Everything has flown by, and it seems like it was just yesterday. I was sitting in Mrs. Skinner's 2nd grade class while Adam Selman fell asleep in the classroom play as he played the part of the compost pile. I remember first best friends in kindergarten, the competition of Angola Kids League Baseball, and the countless traveling teams that went along with it. I still haven't forgotten that first day of 6th grade when I met most of you, or my first failure to open my first locker and then casually playing it off and acting like I knew what I was doing. I remember publications, the candy dance, unified arts, and the song Let It Burn, made famous by Colby Petrie at the 8th grade talent show. Who could forget their first high school dance, first crush on an upperclassman, and the first real date that we all had? I remember pregame cookouts before the football games in the fall, and then the late night bonfires that usually followed. I don't think I'll ever be able to forget our senior year in sports. Packed student sections, all-conference athletes, and game-winning performances. I remember the dedication of the drama department and the state championship runs of the band and academic bowl. I remember my man, Shane Summerlot. Mostly for the day in the parking lot, he fell out of his moving vehicle, which proceeded to cruise on without him, and slammed into the ticket booth, completely knocking it off its foundation. Girls' night out was a treat for all of us. I was awarded not one, but 2 beautiful porcelain toilets, placed so precisely in my front yard. On the other hand, I remember so kindly giving them back on guys' night out, with some added help from Jack Bryan and a little special help from John Shoemaker. More than anything, I remember my classmates sitting here before me today. Together as a class, we've learned so much academically, but even more importantly, we've learned life and love and how to be successful adults in the future. Oftentimes in the last few months, I've wondered about my classmates, where we will go, what we will do, and who we will become. Angola High School has given us the knowledge and opportunity to succeed at any task that we choose. Some of us go to college, and some of us will enter the military or directly into the workforce. If I can offer you one piece of advice, it would be this. Don't forget who you are and how you got to be the young, educated adult you have become today. Never give up and never let go of a dream to succeed. We are standing on the brink of an entirely new age with nothing but our family, friends, and personal will to succeed. I'm going to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, family, friends, faculty, and staff, take one last collective look at the 2009 graduating class of Angola High School. We have come so far in life already, yet still only scratched the surface. With the words of Sir Winston Churchill, this is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end, but it is, perhaps, the end of the beginning. I wish each and every one of you the best of luck in the future, in the hope that you all use the knowledge we have learned from family, friends, and teachers to succeed at whatever life throws at you. In closing, I would like to leave my classmates with one final thought. We are the generation that will shape the future, cure cancer, break world records, and test the limits of the social norm. Success is within reach for all of us. In the words of Sir Joseph Dirt, life's a garden, dig it.
right time, and I'm gonna make this moment mine. I should know it's supposed to be. I take what you give me. Please know that I'm learning. I've looked in the mirror. My world's getting clearer. So wait for me this time. This time. This time.
Maybe we're all different, but we're still the same. We all got the blood of Eden running through our veins. I know sometimes it's hard for you to see. You're caught between just who you are and who you wanna be. If you feel alone and lost and need a friend, remember every new beginning is some beginning's end.